Welcome, gentle traveler. Tonight, we journey back in time, to a world of marble corridors, olive groves, and early dawn light on columns of white limestone. We're following a day in the life of a Roman emperor, not through grand battles or furious politics, but through quiet routines, mindful moments, and simple pleasures behind the palace walls. I invite you to lie back or curl up, close your eyes or gaze gently ahead, and breathe slowly. Inhale peace, exhale tension. Imagine the city stirring, the early warm air drifting between domus and forum. Our emperor begins the day not with thunderous proclamations, but with soft ritual, personal calm, and gentle awareness. Tonight, we explore those moments, those human touches, until you feel wrapped in that ancient hush yourself. Let's step quietly into the first light of an emperor's day. When first light seeps across the marble floors of the imperial palace, there is no hurry. The emperor's private chamber, the cubiculum, lies in a quiet corridor. A servant gently draws open the heavy drape, allowing dawn's pale glow to reach the bed. He wakes not with a shout or clash, but with a soft sigh. A pair of trusted attendants enters quietly, sliding in on silent sandals, holding a silver tray with a small vessel of rose-scented water. They offer it to the emperor to wash his hands and face. The water is cool, refreshing, awakening without jolt, washing away last night's dreams. Soft carpets muffled underfoot, he stands, wraps himself in a woolen synthesis, a loose robe in pale pastel. The fabric is comfortable, brushed with a faint linen scent. The attendants help with the folds, they arrange the soft folds around his shoulders and belt. He moves across a floor mosaic, the art of Neptune and seashells, soothing to the eye. The palace is hushed, only birds outside begin their gentle songs. He pauses by a small bronze brazier, takes a moment to inhale the faint aroma of burning olive wood, warm and grounding. A light breakfast awaits in the atrium. He pads down marble steps, greeted by one or two close companions, their voices low as they whisper good morning. The first light falls through open arches, illuminating columns in warm pastel tones of ochre and ivory. In the atrium's colonnade, a shallow basin of fragrant water stands on a pedestal. The emperor pauses to rinse his mouth, using a wooden dipper. He breathes slowly, appreciating this quiet ceremony, small but deliberate. A young tutor brings a scroll, perhaps a few lines of poetry by Virgil, or a moral reflection by Seneca. They sit on low benches, feet on richly woven rugs. The scroll unfurls, the letters, inked in soft brown, unfurl like gentle waves. The tutor reads aloud, his tone calm, measured, the words floating in the morning air. Our emperor listens, eyes half-lidded, absorbing both words and breeze. The courtyard beyond hums softly, only the muted drip of a fountain, the rustle of olive leaves. Each line of verse seems to fit the day's opening meditation. When the reading finishes, there is a pause. He closes his eyes, letting the words settle. A servant places a cup of diluted wine with honey, balsam, and a few olives and fresh bread. Simple nourishment, meant to honor the ritual of learning, not overwhelm the senses. There is no hurry. The poet's words and the sweet taste of honey linger. And through this, the emperor sets the tone for his day, resolved, reflective, calm. After this gentle meal, the emperor makes his way to a private oratory, a small, quiet room lined with wax-coated tablets and delicate statues. Here, amid oil lamps and the scent of frankincense, he takes time for silent reflection. No crowds enter. This space is reserved for his own thoughts. He stands before a modest statue of Roma, herself serene, and speaks softly, words of gratitude, small hopes for the empire, wishes of peace for those who labor and live far beyond the palace walls. His voice echoes only slightly in the quiet chamber, no thunder, no fury. It is more like the soft hum of remembrance and intention. He dips his fingers in a bronze bowl of water, sprinkles it gently on his forehead in a gesture of humility and purification. The attendant quietly moves close by, offering reed pens and a fresh tablet. Notes are written, perhaps a phrase to inscribe on a temple, instructions for grain distribution, a personal reminder to keep compassion alive in governance. Once finished, he steps back, inhales a slow breath, and exits into the brighter hallway, carrying a peaceful resolve from this private, sacred moment. Now, in gentle transition, the emperor moves to his working chambers. This space is surprisingly modest, a wooden desk inlaid with ivory, amber curtains diffusing the sunlight, and shelves holding scrolls of official notices. His confidants and aides enter quietly, senators, scribes, secretaries. They begin with polite greetings, a nod or two, settling in on low stools. Their voices are low, earnest. Today's topics: a minor border request from a provincial governor, a schedule for grain shipments, a note from the architect about a public cistern. Nothing dramatic. All small gears in the empire's machine. The emperor listens, occasionally leaning forward, fingertips touching parchment. He asks thoughtful questions, not for power, but for clarity. Is the supply from Sicily still steady? Have local magistrates confirmed delivery times? There is patience in his speech, no hurry to speak over others. His presence, though imperial, is calm, more like a gardener tending trees than a general commanding legions. The room's hush allows each voice to be heard. When a question arises about upcoming games at the amphitheater, he smiles slightly. He notes the detail, time, place, offerings, but this is not celebration. It's understanding of the world he governs. Our emperor does not rush. Even in official business, he allows space between words to breathe. And after this small council, he rises, moves toward midday refreshment, carrying a gentle air of thoughtfulness. As morning transitions to midday, the emperor retires to a small dining room overlooking the palace gardens. A peaceful repast awaits: fresh bread, cheese, figs, lightly dressed greens, and a cool glass of wine diluted with water. He reclines on a bench beside the window. A servant offers a platter of boiled eggs seasoned with garum and herbs. When he eats, each bite is slow, deliberate. He savors textures as much as taste. Nutty cheese softens on his tongue. The figs are sweet, earth-scented. His companions are few, trusted friends or household philosophers. Their conversation is calm, notes about seasonal weather, poetry, building repairs, or simple tales from the provinces. Laughter is gentle, voice is low. After this brief respite, he takes his cup, stands, and walks slowly into the garden. Columns line the path, thin shafts of light fall on trimmed boxwood hedges and planters of aromatic herbs, rosemary, lavender, bay. He stoops to touch rosemary leaves, smells lavender brushing fingertips. The breeze carries scent. In the distance, a fountain's soft burble anchors the moment. Sometimes, he picks a fig, inspecting its ripeness, savoring the aroma. Or he watches a squirrel dart across grass, as if noticing life moving softly beyond the parchment world. This is time for quiet replenishment, nourishment of body, mind, spirit. You can feel the dappled light on steps, the gentle rustle of leaves, the mix of stone and moss underfoot. Later, the emperor hosts a brief audience. Not for spectacle, but for individuals: a widow seeking support, a farmer appealing for tax relief, a teacher requesting library scrolls. They come singly, quietly, guided into a modest reception room. He listens, one by one, and acknowledges each person's need. Words are calm, compassionate. He gestures to a scribe: arrange the shipment. Make note for relief. Ensure library funding. No grand announcements, simple acts of care. These moments are not broadcast, they are conveyed with discretion, so no one feels embarrassed or exploited. The emperor's tone is gentle, respectful. Once the last case is heard, he rises and steps outside to an open loggia, smelling fresh air and earth. He takes a moment alone, breathing, collecting himself. Then, at his side, a steward brings a basket of bread and cheese to be distributed to poor citizens waiting discreetly by a side gate. He nods, the servant gathers baskets, and the quietly symbolic gesture is done. No fanfare. No crowds. Just a whisper of goodwill, a breath of care across the city, unseen by most, known by a few. In moments like this, the emperor reflects on the quiet power of kindness. Following the audience, the emperor retires to a private lounging room. The temperature is mild, curtains drawn to filter bright sunlight. Cushioned benches hold plush rugs. A small brazier offers warmth without heat. He sits and steeps a pot of wine with hibiscus and rose petals, a soothing infusion. He pours a cup, inhales the gentle scent. No one speaks. He closes his eyes and rests. The infusion does what afternoon tea does in quiet modern homes: slows time, soothes mind, and prompts soft thoughts. A gentle harp player or soft flute is brought in, music without tempo. Notes are long, held, airy. Melodies drift softly, like a breeze. The emperor's eyelids flutter, his back relaxes. He holds the cup and breathes, tasting petals and wine. The music weaves between thoughts. The palace feels larger, but still safe, an ocean of soft calm. He allows himself 40 winks, maybe less, but important. A break from daylight's demands. When he awakens, he's more himself, clear in mind, alert in presence. Awaking refreshed, the emperor welcomes the fading light of afternoon. He stands and stretches, guided by a gentle trainer in a small exercise courtyard, a pale stone space with matting and light equipment. He practices slow movements, perhaps simple calisthenics or virtus-inspired exercises. There's no strain, no show of strength. Instead, graceful balance, breath control, poise. He shifts weight forward and back, reaches arms wide, each motion mindful. A trainer watches, guiding placement. The sun dims, shadows lengthen. In the background, ivy climbs pale walls, a fountain tinkles. After a few minutes, he inclines a cup of cool water to rinse his mouth, then stands still for a silent moment. He closes his eyes against faint breeze, feeling muscles loosened, breath evened, mind calm. This is not about spectacle, this is a moment of harmony between body and air, movement and stillness, light and dusk. He exhales wordlessly, feeling day's energy balanced with evening's calm. As day settles into evening, the emperor joins a small dinner with close advisors or family. The table is simple, set in the dinner triclinia overlooking a courtyard lit by oil lamps. The meal is modest: bread, fish, greens, lentils, small sweet treat of dates. They recline on couches, plates balanced on knees. Conversation is quiet, echoes of midday reflections, a line of poetry, a thought on the next day's harvests. Laughter is soft, gentle teasing reserved. He tastes each dish mindfully. A fork of greens yields to a sip of wine, diluted and calm. He listens more than speaks, glimpses of wisdom, humility revealed in silence. In the courtyard beyond, lamplight glimmers on leaves. The air smells of lavender and simmering stew. The palace settles deeper into dusk. The meal ends with a few words of appreciation. No speeches, no feasts, just calm gratitude. The plates are cleared, benches returned. The smell of herbs lingers. After dinner, a brief walk through palace gardens. Torches line pathways, each flame flickers softly. Stone benches await under vine-draped pergolas. He wanders slowly, feet bare on cool paving, glancing upward as stars begin to appear. The moon is faintly reflected in a small pool. Night-blooming jasmine opens its pastel petals. The scent drifts on the air, a whisper of sweetness. A tutor or companion may point to constellations: Orion, Hercules, quiet names offered, no pride. They stand together in peace, drinking in soft night. He pauses at the pool's edge, watching moonlight ripple. He breathes, admires. Each star seems small, but in this fleeting moment, all is still, power hushed, senses awakened. Rest deepens. The emperor returns toward private chambers. A servant carries a small lamp and a shallow basin of warm water. He pauses at the doorway, leans lightly on the sill, breathing in night's stillness. He washes hands and face, warm water soothing after day's moments. The glow of the lamp warms skin. He feels grounded. A final tablet awaits, an inscription of thanks, a wish of peace for the empire, a note to rise early. He dips stylus in ink, writes a word or two, then closes the tablet with a slow, deliberate gesture. He hands it to the attendant, who places it gently on a shelf beside the lamp. The flame dims. He steps into his bedchamber, the drapes closing behind him. The room returns to hush. Now, dear listener, our day with the emperor draws to a gentle close. No grand crescendo, no thunderous finale, just soft resolution. We watched him rise in dawn's glow, gather rose water, listen to poetry, offer gratitude. We followed him through busy courtyards, garden strolls, thoughtful counsel, simple meals, moments of rest, and peaceful nighttime rituals. Each moment was a breath. Each gesture offered balance, power tempered with humility, authority held in calm presence. Now, as you lie in your own space, let your breath slow. Feel your chest rise gently, your muscles soften, your mind drift. Imagine the hush of marble corridors, the faint scent of olive wood, the delicate shimmer of torchlight on stone. Tonight, you sleep beside an emperor, but you share his rest. You are wrapped in stillness, washed in quiet, softened by time. Let your eyelids close lightly. Let the silence of the imperial night lull you deeper. Good night, gentle friend. Sleep well. May your dreams be peaceful, your rest unwavering, and your morning as soft as dawn in a Roman palace.